Alright, today we're looking at Chapter 4, Lesson 6, which is on square roots and cubed roots. So let's go ahead and get started here. The first part is asking us to write the definition of a square root and a cubed root. So when we do that, we're looking at square root and cubed root. What can we say here? Let's try something like, we'll change to a color that's nice and visible. And we'll move this up here so it's on the line. Okay, so square root. Let's think about like the square root of 4. We're saying what number times itself gives you that value. So what I'm going to say here is one of 2 equal factors of a number. Does that make sense? So I'm going to do as an example, I'm going to change colors here. So what if we did as an example, oh, I don't know if I can type in the symbol that we want. Let's see if we've got, nope, doesn't give us square root. Okay, so as an example, the square root, we said square root of 4. Oh, that's supposed to be an equal sign. Square root of 4 is 2. So what that means is 2 times itself gives you 4. Okay, so how about cubed root? Cubed root is very similar. In this case, we are looking at to the third. So something third, let me think here. One of 3 equal factors of a number. So this makes sense because if you're trying to find the square, like the area of a square, we're thinking length times width, right? So one side times itself. If you're finding the volume of a cube, you would do length times width times height, and your answer would be centimeters cubed, for example. So let's do an example. We'll just switch to writing here. An example here. In this case, when you type this into your calculator, you have to use the symbol that, so you type the 3, you create this symbol, and then you would say the cubed root of 8 is 2. So what that means is 2 times 2 times 2, or 2 times itself 3 times, gives you 8. Okay. To type this into your calculator here, what I have to do is, on my calculator, I have to type the 3, and then let me grab a calculator so you can see it real quick. And then I have to click on the second and then the caret button. So let me blow this up so you can see this real quick here. I have to type the second button. So when I do that, it's giving me extra button answer options, and then I have to type the caret. Do you see that symbol there? Sorry, so you can see it. So the caret looks like a rooftop, and we want the little square button right above it. So when I press that, I get this symbol, and now I can put an 8, and when I hit enter, I get 2 as my answer. There. Feel free to rewind if you need to see that again. So I have to press 3, then click the second, and then click the caret button, the one that looks like this, to get this symbol to show up. And then you type whatever you want in there underneath. So this is saying write the definition of the perfect square in your own words. However we want to write this, whatever makes sense for us. What about, let's change colors here. Write the definition of perfect square. This is a perfect square. It's a perfect square because the number comes out evenly. So these are 2 equal whole number factors. Ooh, maybe we could say that. Write the definition of the perfect square in your own words. So we could say a whole number I guess we could say an integer, right? Whole number means no negatives. An integer, so non-decimal, so I'm going to say perfect square would be like when the square root comes out as an integer. There. Does that make sense? When the square root comes out as an integer. So in this case, it's a perfect square because the square root of 4 comes out as a non-decimal. Comes out as a nice number. Okay, we'll go through some more examples of that. Square root of 64 would be another one, a perfect square, because it comes out as 8 times 8, right? Okay, let's look at some examples here. So the rainforest, it says tropical rainforests contain a great diversity of plants and animals on Earth, the greatest diversity. It says, and they cover less than 5% of Earth's land. Just a 4 square mile patch of rainforest contains thousands of species of plants and trees and hundreds of species of mammals, birds, reptiles, and amphibians. So this says 2 integer factors, what that means is non-decimals, no fractions. So they're saying 2 integer factors of 4 are 1 and 4. Write 3 other pairs of integers that have products of 1 and 4. Alright, what can we put here? I'm thinking, wouldn't 2? Oh. Sorry, I meant to write. How about 2 and 2? What else? That's all I can think of. However, hold on guys, wouldn't negative 2 times negative 2 also be an option? Because negative 2 times negative 2, the negatives cancel out, and it would end up being a positive 4. If it's 1 and 4, couldn't we do negative 1 and negative 4? That's all I got. That's all my ideas. That's all I can think of. Let's look at question number 2. It says, which pair or pairs of integers that you wrote for exercise 1 could represent the dimensions of an area of land? I have never heard of negative measurements for land, so I suppose we should say 2 and 2. Oh, that's supposed to be an and sign. Let's just do and. I meant to write the word, sorry. Okay, number 3 says, which pair of integers could represent the dimensions of a square area? Well, a square would be even numbers, right? So 2 and 2. Oh, so maybe up here we could say 1 and 4 would work, right? So 2 and 2, and then 1 and 4. I mean, I didn't write it, but it was written in the book. So 1 and 4 could also be an option. But here, when it says a square area, that must mean that the 2 numbers have to be the same. So I'm going to put 2 and 2. So the next question says, what are the dimensions of a 4 square mile patch? So 4 square mile patch of land. And this side needs to be the same as this side, right? So wouldn't that be like 2 miles by 2 miles? That seems super simple. That's suspiciously simple. Alright, let's keep going. Number 5, what would be the dimensions of the following square patches of land? What if we had a 9 square mile patch? What would the edges be? How long would the edges be? 9 square miles, and it says here they are square, so it has to be even on both sides. What times what gives us 9? What times itself gives us 9? 3 and 3, right? 3 miles by 3 miles. Sorry for the bad handwriting. I'm trying to use my right on the screen with my finger. Okay, that's supposed to be miles. Sorry. Let's look at this one. 25 miles. Wouldn't that be 5 and 5? 5 miles by 5 miles. Okay, let's look at the next page then. So this one here, it says match each perfect square with its square roots. Okay. I would kind of argue the whole perfect square thing because we do have decimals going on, but I get it. Match each perfect square with its square root. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the first number. If you can do it in your head, great. If you can't, we're going to plug it into our calculator. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click the second and then the x squared button. So really quick, I'll show you what I'm talking about. So when I click the second button, then I'm going to click here. Do you see that one? So x squared, but the one right above it, the little symbol above it is the square root. So we should see the square root button come up here. And then I can type in whatever number I want and then hit enter. So in this case, I'm going to type in 1.69 and I get 1.3. Wait a minute, why is it positive or negative? try this out in your calculator. If you did 1.3 times 1.3, you get this answer, right? If you take negative 1.3 times negative 1.3, you still get this answer. So what this is saying is the square root of this, the answer could be, it could be positive or it could be negative. So we write that as an either or. We could say positive or negative, either one. Let's do another one. So we're going to type into our calculator square root 1.44. What do we get? Type too much there. I get 1.2. Again, this could be positive or negative. Pause right here. See if you can do the next two. When you're ready, hit play. And when I do this, I got 1.5 for the next one, and then 1.96 would have to be this one here. Sorry, that's kind of hard to see. I should use different colors, shouldn't I? There we go. Alright. So this says, why does a perfect square have two roots? Why does it have two answer options? So what we were saying here is a negative, well, it's kind of hard to see, a negative multiplied by a negative comes out as a positive answer, results in a positive I suppose we could say product. That's the result of multiplying, right? So this says a negative multiplied by a negative, and not one negative, results in a positive product. So that's why this works. So negative times a negative gives you a positive, but obviously two positives leave you with a positive as well. So the square root of one of these could have the positive or the negative answer option. Okay, fun fact though, you can't do the square root of a negative number though. Try that. See what happens if you do square root of, let's say, like negative 25. Isn't the square root of 25, what times what gives you 25? What happens when you do this? Your calculator says error. You can't do it. What we're saying is what two numbers multiplied together, multiplied by themselves. Okay, what number multiplied by itself gives you negative 25? You can't do it. You can do 5 times 5, that gives you positive. You could do negative 5 times negative 5, that gives you positive 25. If you do a negative times a positive, negative 25 times positive, negative 5 times positive 5, then that breaks the rule because we're supposed to have a number times itself. Anyway, if you ever see this, the answer is no solution. So we would say no solution, and we would move on because that's not possible. So this says for each pair of numbers, circle the perfect cube, then write the cubed root on the line. Okay, so we're going to do that thing with our calculator. So I'm going to press the second, and then do the 3 first. So type the 3 on your calculator because it's asking for cubed root. So type the 3. Hit second, and then the caret button, and again the caret button looks like this. So that's going to give us the one that has the x and then this. So you're going to type in 3, caret, and then, 3 second caret, and that'll give you the cubed root. And then you can type in 8, see what you get. And I think for this one I got 2. When I did this with 4, I got 1.5 stuff, 1.58, 7 other stuff. So this one would be the perfect cube, so I'm going to write 8. Oh wait, I'm sorry, it's asking. Oh, I can't erase now. Okay, hold on. Okay, I'm going to write the answer 2 here. Okay. So I'm going to pause, and then I'll show you my answer. So pause right here, and then you can check your work. Pause here, try it out, and then hit play. Alright, here's what I got for the last 3. So for number 7, this one ended up even. For number 8, neither one ended up as even when I did the cubed root. So I put neither. This one is a perfect square, except it's got a negative, so you can't do that. Anyway, the last one I got this. Let me know if you got